She's up and running, purring like a kitten. She's got the auger on it, so we're ready to put in the trees. It's time to get this little Outlaw going. It's just like a dingo, folks. It's pretty much the equivalent. It's a little diesel, dual tanks on it, LED lights. She's ready to go to work. Morning, folks. Today's gonna be a busy day on the farm. Got 7 days of rain coming in. They're talking that we've even got some possibility of flooding in the fields. So I don't know if we're gonna get seed in and fertilizer in the next week, but we're gonna start making some headway on another little piece of land that we own. We need to get a tree break in there, and we need to get a fence line up. So we're gonna bust our butt today, get out the little Outlaw dingo and punch some holes, get the farm hands driving in some T-posts, get some intellirope up, which you've seen in the past, which is fantastic. And we're gonna get this project done. So come along with on the farm as we work our butt off today. So we're on site here, and there's not an easy way to film this because I'm on my own right now until the farm hands show up. When you're augering with a mini skid or this dingo or any of them, I highly recommend you get on and off the machine a little bit and make sure that your holes are straight. It's not as easy as it looks, because even though there's like a, not really a gimbal, but a multi-junctioned head that can swing back and forth on this, which should in theory pick level almost every time it moves to auger down, it doesn't always, because as it goes down the hole, it'll hit a rock or it'll hit a twig or tree and it'll start to turn. So I'm on and off the machine here a little bit just to make sure I get the holes in right. It only took me maybe 20 minutes or so to drill 9 holes, which was fantastic. That's how quick this gets done. This happens to be the 6-inch head, so I can take a easily a 5 or 6-inch post. In this case, I'm going to use the Mississippi Mudders from Fleet Farm. They're like 5.5 inches by 8 feet tall. I'm going to drop them a good 3 feet into the ground, and just a little bit of packing around them. And then when the farm hands come, we'll put the braces up, we'll put the wire on it, and we'll get this thing all strung in. A tool like this is fantastic. Now, you could use an earth auger. You know, that's power driven, little gas one. But typically in dirt like this, which is heavy clay, it's going to take 2 people to hold that thing steady. You certainly can use a post hole digger. Gosh, 9 holes, 3 feet deep with a post hole digger is probably going to take me well over 2 hours. I'm just guessing by the time I, take a break for some water and stuff in between, and I'll be knocking the mud off it because it sticks to it. So that's kind of a pain. The other thing you can do in this situation is, if you want, is you can take the hammer. I've got some great videos on my channel, folks. If you go to my channel, Reef DVMs and Family Farming and Thoughts, and you look up, hammer or fence posts, you're going to see the hammer, and the hammer works great too. The thing with the hammer is I have to go get it. Minnesota Equipment rents it out for the day, and it just wasn't needed for just 9 posts. If you're putting in a lot of posts, like, I don't know, a fence line full of posts, that tool is absolutely fantastic. And by the way, it works for T-posts too. I mean, you'll do T-posts a lot faster with a tool like that also. Do not get me wrong. But I've got farm hands here today, and we'll let them be the muscle for us, and we'll get this project all done. My hope is that by fencing this back off, and getting this back under control, getting it re-disked, because it's already been disked once, get it done again, and then get it seeded, get it fertilized, we get this land back into usable land for us on the farm. It's going to be a nice addition, I think, for the 2025 year. I don't know if we're going to get much out of it in 2024. Again, we're in a hard clay. Typically things have to root in before they can do much. I may have to just cut it off late season this year, just to keep it from laying down a heavy thatch on the pasture and making it usable. We also plan on adding probably close to a mile trail all the way around the edge of it, And if I get time and I get the money ability, I'd like to put some tree plugs in and get a north end windbreak. So it's a little hard to see, but there's a fence post down there. That's where we'll start that line. And we'll come up this way with the fence, and then we've got a tree line the north of this field straight across here to give us a little bit of a shelter belt in here. This has a lot of purpose, this land on the farm. At the beginning it'll become pasture and hay, but eventually down the road it can be one of my family members' houses right up here on this hill that actually would access those barns. So, you know, it's got some wooded land here. It goes in about probably 20 to 25 feet into this woods. So we're gonna punch that in today and get that done. I loaded up some flags on top of some long poles to help us get this done, so we can have some good sight line. All right, so we got the post up here. We strung the line all the way out to the survey posts, which I'm sure is pretty hard to see out there, but I'll see if I can zoom it. And we're going a quarter of a mile straight across this field with T-posts. Obviously we got to put wood here on the corners, so I'm going to work on that next. I'll get this corner wooded out and get it in, and then we'll be in great shape. All right, so you can see the beginning line is in. You can see that little tiny orange line that we've got going for literally a quarter of a mile. We're getting the posts in. We're just, you know, filling up the little bit of hole that's along the edge of them. Just kind of tap it in a little bit. And these are going to get solid anyways because of the bracing that's put on them. These are Mississippi mudders from Fleet Farm. Just use something treated if you're going to put it in the ground, folks, that's for sure. Again, just looking at the corners. A lot of people do top add corners or H corners. I like N corners. Seems to do better in the clay for me. That way when the center corner tries to lift up or pull over, it's using the base of the one next to it, not the top of the one, so they don't just lean as a unit or get lifted as a unit. So I found the N to work better in hard clay. But gosh, the sun is setting here, folks, and we've got the wire up. Well, it's been a long day. I think we're somewhere around 140 T-posts, 10 or 12 corner posts, and a little over a half mile of wire, but it's done. Corners are all in. The electric's pulled. She's fenced all the way up. Looks really good. So I'll leave you guys with a parting shot from the sky.